So today's topic is voltage division rule. So voltage division rule is one of the very basic but a very important rule that you need to know. So before we talk about voltage division rule, the first thing that we need to know is voltage only gets divided when resistors are connected in series. That means in this circuit. In this circuit, resistances are connected in series. So this is why this source voltage will get divided among these two resistors. Now let's consider this circuit. Now if we consider this circuit, we can see over here these two resistances R1 and R2 are connected in series, right? So the R equivalent for this overall circuit is what? R1 plus R2, as because they are kept in series, right? So this is the overall resistance for this circuit. Now what do we want to find out? We want to find out the voltage drop across this resistor and voltage drop across this resistor. That is, for R1 it's V1, for R2 it's V2, right? Now if we apply KVL in this circuit, that is, it will come to be as Vs is equals to this is the total amount of current that is flowing in this circuit. So that is Vs, this voltage is equals to I into R equivalent. Clear? So what we can say, I into R equivalent, the value of R equivalent is what? R1 plus R2. This is your Vs. Clear? So this is your equation number 1. Now what do we want to find out is this V1 voltage, right? So what we can write, so V1 is equals to what? The voltage dropped across this resistor means what? The current that is flowing in this through this resistor multiplied with this value of this resistance. So what is the value of this current? This is also I, because these are connected in series, so this current only flowing from this. So I1 into R1. Clear? Now we also know that this I1 is equals to your actual I value, since I1 is equals to I. So from this what we can write, V1 is equals to what? I into R1. So if we put the value of I from equation 1, it will be Vs divided by R1 plus R2 into this R1 value, right? From equation 1. So what we can write is V1 is equals to Vs, that is the source voltage, into this R1 divided by R1 plus R2. This is the value of V1. So what we can observe from this equation is that the voltage that we want to find out, that is the voltage across resistor R1. So V1 is equals to source voltage, the voltage that has been applied to this circuit, the source voltage multiplied with that resistance across which we want to find out the voltage. So that resistance divided by the sum of these two resistances, that resistance divided by sum of these two resistances. Clear? So V1 is equals to Vs, that is the source voltage, multiplied with R1 divided by R1 plus R2. So this is the voltage across this resistance. Similarly, what we can find out is that we can find out the value of V2. Similarly, it will be what? The source voltage Vs into, since we are finding out the voltage across R2 resistance, so this is why R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Clear? So this is the value of voltage drop across R2. This is the voltage drop across R2 resistor. So what we can also write is V2 is equals to the source voltage multiplied with that resistance. That resistance means R2, right, divided by sum of two resistances. that is R1 plus R2. Clear? So now if we take an example, now if this is the circuit, then these all are connected in series, so this source voltage Vs 30 volt will get divided among these three resistances only, right? So the voltage drop across R1 will be V1, this will be your V2, and this will be your V3. Clear? So what is V1? Since V1, that means the source voltage, that is what, 30 volts multiplied with that resistance, that is 1 ohm divided by the sum of three resistances, that means 1 plus 3 plus 6, that means 10. So this becomes what, 3 volts. V1 is 3 volts. So what about V2? V2 is again the source voltage into that resistance, that is 3 divided by 10. So it becomes 9 volt. And what about V3? Again the source voltage multiplied with that resistance, that is 6, since we are finding out V3, so that resistance means R3, 6 divided by 10, that means 18 volts. So this is your answer. And if you just sum all these voltages up, that means 18 plus 9, that means 27 plus 3 is equals to 30 volts. So this, if you sum up all these voltage drops, it will be equal to Vs. So hope you understand that, and this is the end part of this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.